In the early days of MMA, achieving full mount was the most dominant position. As MMA has progressed, that position became somewhat less valuable as fighters found ways to escape. We now seem to be seeing more 3/4, three-quarter guard positions. Bryce Mitchell springs to mind, but Hamzat also uses this technique to great success. Is this the new dominant position? It seems to offer options to either ground and pound or to attack with submissions. It can be very helpful from three-quarter mount. One of the benefits that it gives you that mount does not is that it gives you the ability, depending on how you're using it and how you move into it, it can give you the ability to move their hips with your legs. There's a three-quarter mount. One of the first submissions I ever learned from Guy was a cross choke where you had three-quarter mount. Let's say you're in mount and your foot is captured on this side. You would actually feed the collar on this way, go over the collar on that way, and then when you go to finish it, you actually knee cut on the other side, which brings their hips all the way to the other one, and it lets you finish the choke. Maybe it wasn't a cross choke, I can't remember exactly, but I remember that this was like, this must have been 14, 15 years ago, but it enabled you to move their hips. So it actually offers a few different things. It has almost all of the anchoring that mount does, and provides some other kinds of opportunities like that. So certainly I would say is a lot of these like in-between positions, so like the major positions, side control and mount, there's actually a series of in-between positions, which we know. The question you have to ask yourself is, have those positions been fully cultivated for maximum utility within mixed martial arts? Probably not, right? Probably not. Probably not. They probably haven't been fully explored in a way where they make maximum utility of them. Now, what I would also say on top of that is your version of events is pretty close to accurate. Let me change it up a little bit. Back when being a Jiu-Jitsu black belt MMA was almost like a trump card, the mount was extremely important for all the reasons you mentioned. There were arm bars from there. You could do a triangle choke from there. You could hold it and ground and pound them out. Everything, and again, getting out of mount is very difficult. But what ended up happening was two things. One, guys were very good about if they got taken down and they were, they would ordinarily go and play from guard. Now instead of playing from guard, they're gonna, push the feet on the hips and get up. So you never even have a chance to right? Because they don't have to fight you off with jiu-jitsu. They can fight you off with whatever they want. They don't if you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament, you have to use jiu-jitsu to beat everybody else. They're not, in MMA, they're not under any obligation to do that. They can beat you whatever way they want. So partly that changed. Then, because that changed, there was years ago where I thought mount was a lost art because guys weren't even attempting mount. They weren't even trying to go for mount. So then you just didn't see it at all. And then, I'm not going to say it's strictly Khabib, but guys like Khabib began to reintroduce it. Began to show you that you can find ways to either get close, three-quarter mount, or you can threaten them out, or you can hold them out, and if you can get there or whatever, and you can actually do so much with it. It's really, when you watch Khabib explain his game, it's very much just what's the point of trying to work your way to mount? Either threaten mount immediately or don't. You know what I mean? He has this real clear sensibility. This is such a dominant position when utilized correctly. Yes, of course, sometimes you have to work your way there, but to the extent possible, find ways to threaten easy access. And so what I would say is, off of these takedowns, guys like Bryce, they have a clearer path about finding mount than they used to. The way it was taught, years ago was takedown, side, and then mount. Of course, if mount presents itself, take it. But now what you're seeing is, let's find takedowns that let us wrap legs, slide hips. Let's find all kinds of ways to progress to either the mount or something close to the mount without going through traditional cycles of getting there, and create a new set of threats, or at least introduce some old threats that haven't been as utilized as they should be in more recent times. So there's a couple of differences there I would introduce, but in general, I don't think that three-quarter guard is the new dominant position, the three-quarter mount, excuse me. But what I would say is, do I think that people have fully figured out ways to get to and then utilize a three-quarter mount or even something else in MMA? No, it is. We have so much room to explore.